Стоп. Всем привет, с вами передача Пилот 0+, и сегодня мы продолжаем наши тренировки на авиасимуляторе. В прошлый раз мы закончили на том, что нам нужно взлететь, пролететь некое расстояние. Я, кстати, обнаружил интересную детальку, что когда она говорит, что вас может перевернуть бэкслэш, это означает, что там есть самолет, который рядом пролетел, и его воздушные потоки могут вас перевернуть. Итак, полетели. Давай, держи, не-не-не.
Welcome aboard. Need help? Use help tutorials. Release the parking brakes, smoothly apply full power and start your takeoff. Apply full throttle for takeoff. Stay on the center line of the runway using the rudder. Take off at 65 knots and climb straight out on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute, about 70 knots. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left. Turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left. Turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are heading too far left. Turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash
Нет,
behind the
сейчас
tower.
опять эта гадина.
Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. You are heading too far right. Turn left slightly to heading 220. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. You are heading too far right. Turn left slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. You are heading too far right. Turn left
Я же
slightly to
повернул
heading
тебя как надо,
220.
собака.
You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are heading too far left. Turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots.
Да что за
You
гад
are
здесь рядом
heading too far
летает?
right. Turn left slightly to
Hey!
heading 220. You are heading too far left. Turn right slightly to heading 220. You
Как
are in
так?
danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash. Drop
Где
the
этот
nose
гад
to speed up
летает?
to 17 knots.
Нету же
You
его
are heading
там?
too far right. Turn left slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are heading too far right. Turn left slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate.
Так, ну-ка давай-ка еще раз.
Release the parking brakes. Smoothly apply full power
На
and start
1000
your
ему надо
takeoff.
подняться.
Apply full throttle for takeoff.
То есть нам до 1000 подняться, при этом направляясь на 220 градусов.
Release the parking brake using Shift B.
Все правильно, я просто так и сделал.
Apply full throttle for takeoff.
О, вот этот звук. Знаешь, где-то летит гад какой-то. Что нам?
Stay on the center line of the runway using the rudder. Take off at 65 knots and climb straight out on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute, about 17 knots. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220.
Так, сначала наберем высоту. Пофига нас.
Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash, drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash, drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots.
Нет, не понятно, почему эта штука стала показывать так криво.
Brakes, smoothly apply full power and start your takeoff. Apply full throttle for takeoff. Stay on the center line of the runway using the rudder. Take off at 65 knots and climb straight out on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute, about 17 knots. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash, drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are in danger of being backslash behind the power curve. Backslash, drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 220.
Что этот звук означает? Запарил он.
You are
еще в полете, что ли, оторвалось?
Backslash behind the power curve backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly to increase your climb rate.
Заколебало. Где этот
You
самолет?
are in
Нету ж там
danger of
никого.
being backslash behind the power curve backslash. Drop the nose to speed up to 17 knots. Your climb angle is too shallow. Raise the nose slightly. Your climb angle is too shallow.
Кто-то
Raise the nose
спокойно
slightly
взлетел.
to increase your climb rate. Release the parking brakes, smoothly apply full power and start your takeoff. Apply full throttle for takeoff. Stay on the center line of the runway using the rudder. Take off at 65 knots and climb straight out on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute, about 17 knots. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. Continue your climb on heading 220 at 600 feet per minute to 1000 feet. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Your climb angle is too great. Lower the nose slightly to decrease your climb rate. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 220. Make a right turn to crosswind heading 310, and continue climbing to 1500 feet. You're too far left, turn right to heading 310.
Я наконец заворачиваю, да? Слишком поздно сделал, ладно?
You're too far right, turn left to heading 310. Level off the aircraft at 1500 ft and maintain heading and altitude for a few more seconds.
Поддерживаю.
Now make another 90-degree right turn to downwind heading 40. You're getting too high, descend to 1500 ft. You're too far right, turn left to heading 40.
Вот мы 14.
You're getting too high, descend to 1500 ft. You're too far left, turn right to heading 40. You're getting too high, descend to 1500 ft.
О,
You're too far left, turn right to heading 40. You're getting too high, descend to 1500 ft.
сейчас спускаюсь, подожди.
You're too far right, turn left to heading 40. You're getting too high, descend to 1500 ft. too far right, turn left to heading 40.
Ну, давай, 4, вот.
Reduce power to 80 to 85%, entering for level flight, continue flying parallel to the runway. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 40.
Держим высоту.
You are too low, pattern altitude is 1,500 feet. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 40. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40. You are heading too far left, turn right slightly to heading 40. You are too low, pattern altitude is 1,500 feet.
Ах ты собака.
You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40. You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10.
Так,
You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10.
теперь мне нужно повернуть его.
You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10.
И выровнять с нашим драгоценным.
You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10.
О, вон он.
You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10.
Я уже поставил флапы на тент.
You are now opposite the end of the runway, reduce power to 70%, set flaps to 10. Let the aircraft descend and slow down, continue flying heading of 40. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40. You are too high, you should be descending to around 1,300 feet. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40. You are too high, you should be descending to around 1,300 feet. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40. You are too high, you should be descending to around 1,300 feet. You are heading too far right, turn left slightly to heading 40.
Наш runaway. Нужно до него долететь теперь. кажется, приземление у нас сейчас не засчитает. Может, засчитает, сейчас посмотрим. Давай, засчитай. Главное, не разбейся. Засчитает, не засчитает, до этого засчитала. Да, в этот раз не засчитала. Может привести попробовать еще разок. Попробуем реалистично сделать. Вернемся на наш трек.
Turn left to base heading 130 and set flaps to 20. Continue descending, but make sure to maintain a safe altitude above the ground. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway.
На дорогу. Ты поняла, что я уже приземлился.
Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway.
Ой, не вижу, что ты в болоте застрял.
Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway. Turn onto final heading 220 and line up with the runway.
Так, теперь сейчас повернем. Ой-ой-ой! Блин. Ну не так
Turn
хорошо
onto
обманули.
final heading 220 and line up with the runway.
Нет, придется заново начинать. Ладно, на сегодня пока, наверное, хватит.